I like the AI slop tool. It's really helped me clean up a lot of things that typically, like, we'll say mistakes that AI made, or habits that AI has. When you can it's the AI when it does this behavior, when it has its output, like, it's the AI. What up, y'all? My name is Maestro Stevens with Iconic Templates, and in this video I want to show you how I was able to create wireframes in Figma from either my Codex app or Claude Code. It's actually pretty dope. So let's just get right in it. All right, so right now I'm showing you exactly what I just did, because we have to do a test before we actually do the video, but I wanted to make sure that it still worked. And what you see right now on the right side is Figma, and on the left side you see Codex, okay? And what I've done is I told Codex, I literally gave it pretty much freedom of expression or creativity, all right? And I told it to create wireframes inside of Figma so I can just be hands off. Now, why would I want to create a wireframe, or what is a wireframe? Well, a wireframe in a simplistic standpoint is basically a blueprint. It's not a mockup, because oftentimes they get used interchangeably. It's just the skeleton of a page, right? Or an app or an idea. And all you want to see in a minimum form is the structure of the idea. Typically, wireframes don't have a lot of colors. They don't have images. Normally, they're just black and white or some kind of like two-tone color scenario. And with a wireframe, you're just trying to get an idea of what it is you're building, what it is you're creating, in a way to where you can see it visually. That's pretty much what a wireframe is. Some people call wireframes templates, right? Or templating. It's a templating process. But the whole purpose of it is to give you a clear idea before you start to, as they say, paint the canvas. I think of it as a blueprint of a house. Before you decide what goes inside the house, you first want to know the structure of the house. Then you can start thinking about the type of wood, the drapery, the carpet, the countertop, all those things, okay? But I want to let you know that these AI agents, even though they are not humans and they are not perfect by any means. So if you are, saying in your head right now, but Maestro, they're not good as people or designers, I'm not even arguing with you with that, okay? What I'm letting you know is, for most people who can't afford a designer, for most people who just want to get an idea down before they hand it to a designer, this is a good start that will give you a head start, okay? So what I've done is first of all, let me just share with you all. If you are using Figma, you need to have the paid plan in order to do this. The free plan is so limited and it will not let you do what I'm going to show you today, okay? And if it does, it's going to be very limited. So I want to let you know you at least got to have a paid seat in Figma in order to do this. I know for some of you all that might be a turnoff, but it is the future. They are no longer giving us free connecting capabilities. They used to do that. Now they're charging for the MCP, or the integration, right? MCP is Model Context Protocol, or the integration. That's another term for it. They're charging for that. And so right now, I'm letting you know, more and more tools are seeing the value in that connection, whereas before they would give a lot of it for free. When it comes to Figma, this is my workflow, my process. You can template it as you wish and then customize it as you feel. But what I did is I first had to understand how to connect my app, my Codex app, my Claude Code app to Figma. Figma makes it so confusing, and that's why I'm like, I have to make a video, because I had to really go through the rabbit hole with this. And I remember over a year ago, I was excited about the Figma connector with Claude, but it was so limited. Like, it was like you can only create diagrams, and I'm like, no, I want to be able to make stuff inside of the Figma app. And lo and behold, a year later, they have the ability to do that, but it is very confusing to the average person. So if you go to Google or whatever AI tool you're using or whatever browser you're using and type in Figma MCP, you will see that they have a catalog here. This is not the important part I want to show you, but they're letting you know what Figma connects with, right? But see, that's why I said it's a little confusing. That's why you have to go to Guide to Figma MCP server. And then from here, they let you know that the remote server is available on all seats and plans, so the free plan, but the desktop server is for dev and full only. And you want to have a combination of both, right? Now, I'm using the remote, and I'm also using I am using the desktop, but I might be using one more as well. But we're not gonna go there. I'm gonna show you, at least right now, you want to have the remote and the desktop, and then you can also use the skills, or you don't have to use the skills. So if I go to plugins here, let me go to plugins real quick, and I type in Figma. Now this is Codex. In Claude Code, they call it connectors, and they have plugins as well too. However, it's just a little different of a naming convention, okay? Notice how I don't have this installed. Like, I'm not using the native Figma plugin in Codex. However, I was still able to create these wireframes through Figma. You're probably wondering, how did I get there? That's why I want to share with you all that you don't have to have this. Now, I could install this if I wanted to and use these skills, but I like to have my own skills. For me, like create new file, generate a design, generate diagram, all these are cool, but I like to have my own skills. You can make your own custom skills, or you can use this, all right? But I just wanted you to notice that I don't have this installed, yet I was still able to do what I needed to do. That's the key thing there, okay? And so what I did was I made a custom Figma wireframe skill. Now, why would I do that? Because before I made this skill, this custom skill, Figma and Codex were working together, but when I made wireframes, they looked really, really ugly. I mean, messed up. I'm not saying this is the best wireframe. I ain't saying it at all, but I'm saying that this is a lot further than where it was before, and this is a great start, okay? That's a key thing there. So if you go back to plugins, I know I'm gonna go back and forth like Aaliyah, back and forth. But skills right here, if you go skills and then you go to, you can look up different skills that you want, but right now I'm showing you mine. Here are some skills right here I have some also custom skills as well too. They let you know, here's all the skills recommended system. Here are my skills by my project. So these are literally where your skills, when you make custom skills or you import custom skills, they will be right here. As you can see, I have a lot of skills, and a lot of these skills I made myself. A lot of these skills did not come out the box with Codex. I made the skill, I went through the format. I'll make a new video for how we make skills and how to make them really, really good. But this one, I just want to let you know, these are my skills right here, right? Normally when you see a picture, that means that it's from Codex itself. But when you don't see a picture, that's usually the skill that I made custom, or I might have borrowed a skill from somebody's repository in GitHub. So that's a key thing there, right? Okay? Now, we have a skill that I made, and this is all about creating wireframes in Figma and making them look good. That's what this skill is all about, creating wireframes in Figma and making them look good. If I click this, let me close this so you can see more. If I click this, it's gonna open up on the right side, and this is why I love Codex. I'm a big fan of Claude Code too, but Codex is doing a better job. Now, don't get me wrong, it has its glitches. Codex has, I'm gonna share with you all later. But Codex does a better job when it comes to, I don't know, like the user interface, when it shows certain things, especially if we have enough time, I might show you the in-app browser workflow, but we might have to do that in another video. But we can see this skill here, right? Mission, use this when, required companion skills, core skills, workflows, the workflow, the build structure, label by, and you can see this is not a long skill, but it is specific. Sometimes skills are even longer. They have more documents, reference files, templates, but this one, I didn't want it to be that long at all. So I wanted to just create something that was simple and precise. That is my skill right there. Let's close this down, this panel down, and then open this back up. So that's the first thing right there. I created a wireframe skill for Figma, but I also connected Figma to the MCP and the remote MCP. And I'm not gonna go through the whole process of how to do that in this video, because you can always ask your AI agent. Heck, you can even take the transcript from this video, give it to your AI agent and say, copy this workflow. I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all go right now. That's a Don DeMarco. That's what I do, right? I will copy the transcript, after I watch the video. Sometimes I don't need to watch the whole video. If I know I have an idea and I want to do it. So you don't have to do all that. You can watch the Figma MCP server, remote server. Again, if you're not somebody who understands this stuff, it might get a little confusing. But the main purpose that I want to share with you all is tell Codex, tell Claude to set up the remote MCP server and then also set up the desktop server. Well, I wouldn't say the desktop one because the desktop one means the Figma desktop app, and they recommend that that's for more enterprise organizations. So I would just say the remote MCP server is really good for most people, but you can also use the plugin right here. You can type in here. You might want to do a combo. You got to test it out. There's some things that I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you what I'm doing and some things that you might want to think about. And then you have to figure out that workflow for yourself, because I don't want to confuse too many people in this in a scenario like this. But you can always add this Figma one, this native design to code Figma one, and then it will add these skills as well too. That's what a plugin is supposed to do. It's a combination of the connectors, like MCP connectors and skills, and then even some other things as well too. I guess that's what they call plugins. It's kind of, interesting because WordPress uses plugins, and a plugin in WordPress is almost like a app that you're just integrating into WordPress. It could be something as big as a huge app or something as just a function. So it just depends on how you use this word plugin. It can be confusing when used interchangeably. But that's the main thing I want you to see. Go to this website or just grab the link, go to your preferred AI tool, does not matter what it is, and tell it, I want you to connect this remote MCP server from Figma, okay? It's gonna have you create a personalized token. It'll walk you through that. I'm not gonna go through that right now. I don't wanna make this video long. It'll have you make a personalized token, meaning you need to authenticate. That's a big thing. You have to authenticate it with your platform, with Figma. But once you do that, you're gonna be good to go, okay? So let's go back here. I keep double clicking it. I forgot you only have to click it one time. I double click it because I'm so used to double clicking, okay? And once you do that, you're good. So you can create a skill to create wireframes, and then you actually have your Figma connection. And from there, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna give you a super bonus tip. Now, this bonus tip is gonna come with a small cost, or some people may say a large cost. It depends on, what your budget looking like. But there is this tool called Mobbin, and I've been using this for a few months now. I started using it somewhere at the beginning of the year. And the way that you have to buy it, you either get it in a quarter, like 3 months, or you get it for the year. They don't do monthly subscriptions. It's either quarter or the year. But what Mobbin is, it's a curated, and that's the key word, it's a curated platform of apps and sites, and it shows all their screens. When I tell you this is one of the dopest stuff ever, because there's not many platforms like this, and this might be, the only platform that does it like this, like that does it like they do it. But it's official. When I say it's official, I'm talking about they have Booking.com, they have like Duolingo, and when I say official, I'm talking about these companies gave this company permission to have their screens. That's what I mean by like it's official, like a referee with a whistle. And so you don't have to worry about this being fake or being stolen. All this stuff is official. You can find all kind of things on this. I mean, even freeform for Apple, right? It's official. So you have your apps, and then you have iOS and web, and then you have your sites right here. And then you have a filter for the sites. You can go by categories right here. You can go by sections. So you can see certain sections. So that way, and not only that, you can copy as a PNG. You can click it, right? And then you can download the PNG, like I said, you can save it to your favorites, and you can even see the full page. And this gives the AI so many examples, so much structure to use, because you're just borrowing ideas. You're not stealing. That's the key thing. Don't steal their ideas. Don't do word for word, pixel for pixel, verbatim. Can you say verbatim? I don't know. But the cool part is that you get to use this and borrow it as inspiration for your AI tool, or even yourself. Use it for designers. Say you have a designer that does not use AI. Mobbin is so sweet. I know they have Dribble and Behance. The list goes on. Some people still use Pinterest. I mean, who still uses Pinterest for this? But you can still use Pinterest. I'm not saying don't use Pinterest, but I like the fact that Mobbin has made it in a way that it's AI friendly. They really have. So as I mentioned, you have apps, you have sites right here, and you can use your AI tool. You can have your AI tool use this. Now, I always take things to the next level. That's just me. You don't have to do what I do, but I take it to the next level because that's what we do over here at Iconic Templates. When it comes to Mobbin, I will usually have, let me start here before I go to the next thing. Mobbin has a MCP server, which is cool. So if I go here and click Mobbin MCP right here, Mobbin MCP, they just released this. Now, it's a limited MCP for now. I'm hoping they add more capabilities to it, but the fact that they have it is great. And that's why I said, let me show you this first before I show you my workaround for the MCP limitations. If you don't know what MCP is, it's Model Context Protocol. It's basically a way to integrate your AI agent or your AI app to another tool, right? Sometimes the tool is a platform. That's the best way to say it, but I'm sure that you can find other ways to understand it. So Mobbin has this MCP right here, and it lets you know what it can do. Copy a prompt to try it yourself. The problem that I say is it's a little limited on the tools that it can do. Normally it can only search. You can't add specific search criteria to it. It doesn't work that way. So a workaround is, and this is, I only found this to work in Codex right now, and only because they have this thing called in-app browser, and it works so sweet. I'm gonna show you here in a second. But the cool thing is that you can just copy this right here, use Claude Code, use Codex, and just say, hey, add the Mobbin MCP. You authorize it. It's going to tell you to authorize it like they always do. Once you authorize it with your account, you're all good to go. Okay. So what I did was, as an example, let's go back to the wireframe. I said, I want you to access Figma, use my wireframe skill that I made custom. It said, yes, I can use your skill. I said, do we have a Mobbin skill or MCP? I didn't make a Mobbin skill because like the tools are so limited. So it's like, what's the point of making a skill right now? But we do have the MCP. It said, yes, we appear to have the MCP. One key tip, make sure that you have your AI agent add your MCPs globally and your skills globally, unless you want to use a skill per project. That's one thing it took me so long to understand. So I'm hoping I'm giving somebody a key tip. You have to understand when you add MCPs and skills, sometimes this, especially with the skills, it'll add it per project. And then you'll go into another project and you won't be able to use that skill. I got embarrassed so many times making videos where I'm trying to use a skill. So for instance, you want to press /, right? And then you can see all these skills. And I'm like, why isn't my skills showing up? Well, that's because it was added to the project and I wasn't in that project. So I started learning add my skills globally, unless I need to add them per project. All right. So hopefully somebody learned from that real quick. So it saw Mobbin, right? And then I told it to search Mobbin. It can do web and iOS, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to search Mobbin because we're going to make this wireframe here, right? So basically, I said, I'll let you decide. My goal is for you to create 3. Now, here's the key thing. You want to give your AI agent a goal. They actually have a goal feature, but I just mean a goal. So if I click this and I click goal, you see there's a goal feature in both Claude and Codex, right? But I just told it my goal is for you to create 3 wireframes inside Figma for any kind of app you want to make. I gave the agent freedom, creative expression, okay? It chose an op center wireframe. Why did it choose that? I don't know, but it did. God bless his heart. Now, once it did that, it started to create in the background the wireframe. And then what was interesting, because normally, now here's the thing I got to share with you all. Normally, you have to copy the link to the page. So Figma has different pages, and in the pages you can add your designs. Normally, you would it would add directly to that page, and it didn't. It made a whole new page. And that's the power of that remote MCP server part, where it pretty much has full access. Now, let me give you all an understanding. When you are using Figma, a key thing you need to do is go to developer mode. And you'll click this plus button here. And in this plus button, you will see that you can add Figma these different ways. Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, VS Code, Gemini, the list goes on. Copy all, if I were you, I would just copy all this and give this to your agent. Copy all of it and give it to your agent and tell it to set it up. Set it up. You tell it to set it up, okay? Codex, same thing. Tell it to set it up. And you have to do it from the dev mode. That's why it's important for you to have a seat for this workflow I'm showing you, a paid seat, because you don't get dev mode in the free seat. So you click this button here, have it set up, I'm just sharing with you because, like I told you, at least for me, the connection to Figma got confusing. And you have to understand, they're still trying to figure things out too. These platforms, especially Claude and Anthropic and the OpenAI, they're still trying to figure things out. So what you see today don't mean you're gonna see it tomorrow. That's why I started to share concepts, because that annoys me so much that a video will be outdated in 3 days. Because a certain feature or a certain connection way is gone, it's outdated, and now you're on to something new. So I say, do it all and figure out what works for you. I know somebody's like, why are you going out of order? Or you're confusing me. I'm telling you all, I was way more confused than you are right now. So give this to your AI agent. Let it help you understand it more simply if I'm not doing a good job teaching you how to use this. But like I said, I copied this link and I added it to That's what you see right here. I added to right here, and the AI agent ended up making a new page on its own anyway. So I said, all right, go ahead, do your thing. I ain't gonna be mad at you. But that's it. That's the main thing I wanted you to know. That's not it for the video, but that's the main thing I want you to know in terms of like how simple it was. Where Mobbin came in is it search screens. So the Mobbin part right here, this is the bonus part. You don't have to use this Mobbin part. I just want to throw that in there too, that it search for screens, right? So it can get ideas. Now that's the thing about the Mobin MCP is limited. You can't be hyper specific. It can only search for a certain screen, like for screens and how things look. And I'm not a fan of that, but it is what it is. So hold on, let me see what capabilities do you have with Mobbin, like the tools. I'll do that real quick, just so that we can see like what it can actually do. So what it can do, search Mobbin UI screens, search either web or iOS, use fast deep mode, return screen images, exclude specific screen IDs from, okay, what it needs from me. So you can't say certain things like when I use this to help build some websites, I had to use the in-app browser mode because it was just so much limitations. It couldn't give me specific examples. It can only search by screens. And I'm like, no, I want you to use this specific verbiage and it couldn't do that. So it was kind of weird in order to do that. So my workaround to do that is, let's see, browser. And this is a skill. This is a skill that comes out of Codex. This is how you use the in-app browser. I'm gonna show you right now. Browser. You have to, well, let me see this. You got to turn it on. If you don't already have it on, it's right here. Browser, turn this on right there. Once you turn that on, you'll have the skill, okay? So browser, and then I'm going to voice it this time. I'm going to say, open up Mobbin and search for another example. This time, look at the sites and add 2 websites for let's build a space app. So add 2 to 3 website examples and my favorites. Make sure you favorite them. And I want you to download the screens that would work really, really well for our app. I'm gonna stop it here. I guess I could have said website, said app. It is what it is. And I'm going to click go. Now, only because I'm logged in to Mobbin through its internal browser. When I say in-app browser, it's Codex internal browser. And I'm telling you, you will get so annoyed if you don't say in-app browser, or more specifically, if you don't call this tool, if you don't call it, Codex is gonna open up another browser outside of Codex. It's gonna open up another browser. And you're like, I didn't want you to do that. I'm not even telling it to use the Chrome. I'm saying use your in-app browser. Now, right now you're like, well, Maestro, where is the in-app browser? And I'm like, aha, that's the cool part about it. You don't see it, it's in the background. But if you wanna see it, I click this right here and look at it go. Let's open this right here, make it bigger, boom. The thing about this, now I'm gonna make a full video on why this is so special, why this is so different from what Claude can do, is it has a mouse. And this mouse can bypass a lot of the blockers. Like you know how some of these websites now, they block you from your agent? Well, because of this mouse clicker, it can bypass a lot of that and actually do things that you would not be able to do otherwise. I'm hoping somebody understands the power of this, because that means that you can set this for 15, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever your plan allows you to do, and have it do stuff for a long time, again, that it would not be able to do because a lot of websites are blocking these agents. But they can't block if the agent is acting like a human actually making clicks. Now, at some point in time, I'm sure they're gonna figure this out, right? There's always gonna be a problem, a solution, a problem, a solution, a problem, a solution. It is what it is when it comes to that. But I wanted you to see the power that this can do it. Now, yes, you can say it's a little slow, and it can be slow, right? It can be slow, but the thing is if you're running in the background, there is no substitute when it comes to multitasking, because humans don't multitask, computers do, right? And so if you set this in the background and you go work on another project, this is doing the thing that you want it to do while you're doing something else. Go and get your coffee, go make some popcorn, maybe you want to go for a run, whatever it is that you want to do. And let this work in the background, do this thing. You can see what it's doing. You see it chose Cosmos, right? I said, let's make a space app. For some reason, it chose Cosmos. Dope. Now it's getting ready to save it to my Mobbin favorites. And then if it's smart enough, if it knows better, it should also download. And I can tell it, I can always steer it. You can steer it. Make sure you download. I can say, make sure to download to my computer. I believe I already said that in the situation, but you can always steer it as well too. That's what's really cool about using this in-app browser, is it is so powerful. I mean, it does so many things. Now, I don't want to make this video that long. because I just wanted to share with you all, like, the whole point of the video is to make this. And what I'll do is I'm gonna stop it because it can really do its thing. I'm gonna stop it, and I'm just gonna say, now just make the wireframes. Like, I don't even care right now. I'm gonna do this. So right now, I was not using the Mobin MCP. I was using the in-app browser to gather ideas, okay? So now I'm gonna say, I changed my mind. Just use the Mobbin MCP to get some ideas, and then make the wireframes in Figma. That is the goal. Make the wireframes in Figma. I want 2 to 3 wireframes. That's it, okay? Thank you. And use the same Figma design that I already have. You can make a new page if you want to. Again, because this video will be too long, I didn't want to keep it going, so we just gonna do this part right quick right here. Close this down. You can easily just close this, and then now you're back. That's what this little right sidebar is for, is it opens this up, and then if you click the plus button, you'll see, you can see your files, you can do a side chat. So say you don't want to bother this over here. Right now they have the side chat feature. Will they have it in the future? I don't know, but I'm just letting you know they have that right now, okay? But that's how you're able to see your documents right in the app. You don't even have to leave the app to see the documents. You can see it right here. Same thing with the browser. If I want to close it down, I close it down right here. That's how that works. So right now it's going. Let's see if it makes a new page. I'm gonna do this real quick like this, just so we can see what it does. I'm going to, let's see, move this over a little bit, and then once it's finished, we gonna close it out. I just want y'all to see this. I know it's not live, but I want you to see it just as it is. So it's going through. Mobbin gave me some useful direction. So it's search screens, right? It's search screens. It's getting inspiration from actual websites, curated websites, popular websites, and even some minor websites, but they're still polished enough to be able to do its thing. That's why I like the Mobbin platform. We're gonna keep letting it do its thing. I might have to use the power of fast forwarding during this part. Okay, boom. We just saw that, right? It just made a new page. And look at that. Boom. Now, here's the thing. If it's using my skill, I made the skill, it's going to screenshot it, look at what it did wrong. That's a key thing. You have to have your AI audit itself. That'd be the biggest problem sometimes, is you don't have the AI audit itself before it comes to you and says it's done. You know how many times I was annoyed that the AI would come back to me and said, I'm done, like a little kid. I'm done. And I'm like, you done with your homework? Did you check it? Because if I have to check it and you ain't check it, we gonna have some problems. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling. And so I have it check its homework, check itself before it comes to me and says it's done, because I want to be the final pass. I don't want to be going back and forth with it. So it might see its mistake. I caught the landing page issue in the screenshot. The hero headline is too large. It collides with the body copy. Blah blah blah. I'm simplifying the frame. I wonder if it's going to catch this part too, running into that. It may or may not. We'll see. But the fact that it's actually going through this auditing process is what I appreciate more than anything. Let me close this right quick. One quick tip while it does that. The thing that I do often is when I'm working on a session, I pin it. That lets me, it's when you have a whole bunch of projects, it gets convoluted. So if you start to pin your sessions, Claude Code has the same thing. I'm not sure, Cursor and other tools, but I know you can pin this. It makes it so much easier for you to be able to see what's going on right now. So I didn't like that. Let's see, Figma wireframe skill. Did you review and polish? Now I might do this. I might use the AI slop. I made an AI slop review skill as well too, so we can see. And that's because I researched all the different ways AI is known for slop. And basically I created a skill to help it avoid all of that. Okay, then fix. Now I could give it specific directions and say what to fix exactly, how to fix it. Like you see like the titles overlapping and everything. That's not a big deal. All I care about is, did it create a wireframe? The keyword is wireframe, not a mockup, not the web page, a wireframe that we can then go from there. I can hand it off to a designer. I can then put it in Claude Design. I can put another tool. There's so many things that I can do there from that wireframe. If I'm a designer, I can tweak it up myself. But this is supposed to be a head start as a template. That's the main thing. It's a head start as a template, y'all. So right now it's reviewing itself. I'll fix the Figma wireframes by applying the useful parts in the AI slop lens. I like the AI slop tool. It's really helped me clean up a lot of things that typically, like we'll say, mistakes that AI made or habits, like habits that AI has when you can double, you know it's the AI when it does this behavior, when it has its output. Like, you know it's the AI. All right, we have a disappearing act here. I don't know why we have a disappearing act, but we do. It may fix itself. This video, I'm gonna let it be a little longer because I want you all to see the process. I know somebody really needs to see this, and oftentimes I know people fast forward. You can always fast forward in the YouTube video yourself. And while we're doing this, make sure you like the video, man. Give me a thumbs up, y'all. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that right now. If you got any questions, you already know what to do. Throw it in the comments. All right, it's doing this. Now, if it puts a background behind it, okay, here, and it did. This is more wireframing. See, before it was adding a little bit too much, right? Now it saw itself, it was like, okay, wait, I did too much with the wireframe. You see how it got rid of a lot of that color? I mean, this is a good wireframe, y'all. I would not be mad at this because all we're looking for is placement of where things go, and then we can fix it from there. This is a template, essentially, right? It's just placement of where things go, and then we can go from there. So it did. It fixed up because remember these were messed up there. I mean, this looks actually not so bad at all, right? This looks not so bad. So there we go. That is a workflow from how you create wireframes in Figma from Codex. You can do the same thing in Claude. I use all these tools, right? There's not one tool that I just use by itself. I use all these tools. I typically stick with Claude Code or the whole Claude app and Codex. I'm a fan of Codex. I still use ChatGPT as well too, but this is dope. Makes a huge difference in my workflow and how I can send this to other people. And that's it. So make sure you connect the MCP server. Make sure that you connect the remote server as well too, because it'll give you more integration inside. I'm not gonna go through all the details of what all the integrations are. Y'all can figure that out. Y'all can find that out. Use your AI partner. Make sure that you have inspiration. You don't have to use Mobbin. I just wanted to use Mobbin because it had an MCP server and Mobbin has a curated. I didn't want my AI app curating from, you know, the whole internet. I wanted to curate within curation, right? They already did the work for us in Mobbin. So now we're just choosing based off of what they curated. And they have a lot. They have a lot. But let me know. Did you learn anything? Did you get anything out of it? What your thoughts are? Was this useful? If it wasn't, man, you know, it's not good, is it? If it ain't useful. But if it was useful, well then now you have power! The power. My name is Maestro Stevens with Iconic Templates, and I'm out. Peace.